Hey guys, it's Jane. It's Friday and I'm here to try and film a Friday Reads for you. I haven't had a great night's sleep, but it was better than I've been getting for a while. We're not through the teething, but I think it's plateaued off and we're heading in the right direction again. So yay. Thank you for everybody who left encouraging words on my video last week. I really wasn't in a great place when I filmed last week. I went back and replied to a number of you, but YouTube was not working. The replies just disappeared into the ether. So I'm really sorry about that. At some point, I'll go back and make another attempt. I understand it's fixed now. I'm hopeful anyway. But yes, that's why there weren't replies to your comments on the video last week. But let me tell you what I've been reading. I haven't read a huge amount this past week, but this is what I've read. I finished The Buried Life by Carrie Patel, and it's a book that I really was enjoying at the very beginning, like really enjoying. It was quite refreshing. It was a little bit different to anything I've read recently, possibly ever. It's set in a neo-Victoriana underground world. I kind of felt like it was about to launch into sort of fantasy, but it never really did. There weren't any magical creatures. There wasn't any magic, full stop. So it's just a kind of different reality. A little over halfway through the book, we learn stuff about the world, which makes some of the details of how it's set up explained, but I don't think I'm going to tell you about that because, you know, spoilers. As I said, I really enjoyed it initially. It's kind of a police procedural set in this strange world, and there's a murder amongst the top tier members of society, which is virtually unheard of. The two main characters who we're following are somebody who's investigating the murder, and the other person is a witness to one of the murders, in fact the second murder, because it's not just one murder, there's a string of murders. Anyway, I was really enjoying it. I thought the writing was really good. It was fresh. And then at about the 2/3 mark, after we've had this big reveal, things start falling out. And all these unexpected things happen. And that's normally a good thing, right? It's normally a good thing to be surprised by the book that you're reading and it not go exactly where you want. But in this case, I was really thrown for a loop because the unexpected things were things about loyalties of the characters. There was also a death of a character that I wasn't expecting, and the way that death was handled, I thought was a bit offhand given how invested I'd become in that character. And all in all, I thought the execution of the final third wasn't so great. But it was a debut novel. She's written a couple of other things since. I certainly think I wouldn't be put off the idea of picking up another book by her. But I can't really highly recommend it. The second book that I finished this week was much more in my comfort zone the whole way through. It's Ilona Andrews' Gunmetal Magic, which is a novel set in the world of Kate Daniels, but it's not centered on Kate Daniels. It's actually centered on her best friend, Andrea. I really enjoyed this book. And then there's an added bonus in that at the very end they've got a short story, but a long short story, whatever that means, that is following Kate across the same time frame as the main story follows Andrea. And so you find out what she was doing at the same time. And there's one really funny scene where we actually have exactly the same scene as we've had in the main book, but seen from Kate's point of view. So yeah, that was a nice added extra. So it was like getting two Kate Daniels stories all for the price of one. I just finished that this morning. It was all good. As for what I'm planning on reading now, there are a couple of books I'm actually dying to read at the moment, but I've requested them at my library and I think they're in the process of being acquired, but they haven't come in yet. And I'm trying to be good and not just go and buy them, because I've done a bit of that this year and I really need to get back to the using my library service and saving a few pennies. During the week, there was an article on Slate, which I read, which was really captured my attention, and it's about comic novels or books that make you laugh. I have a really soft spot for comic novels. I think they're often very underrated. P.G. Wodehouse is one of my favourite all-time authors, and I think he writes some of the finest prose in all of the English language, and I think he's often underrated because he's a humorous author. Anyway, so what this article was is they've gone to Maria Semple, who's got a new book coming out, and she writes humorous prose, and they asked her for recommendations of the 3 funniest books by living authors. And then they went to those 3 authors and they did the same thing. And so we've got this daisy chain of humorous books recommended by humorous book authors. And a number of the books on the list I have read, not a huge number, but a few. And those that I have read, I think deserve to be there. So I'm planning on going back to the library and try to ferret out 1 or 2 of these on the list. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to, what you're reading, what else is going on. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.